Hello guys, welcome to Davey Cams. This thing's not still recording. Welcome to Davey Cams. It's a pleasure to have you back in the channel. I know it's been a long time since I made a video and I'm sorry. But the good news is regular service will be resumed from now on. I will still be reviewing the odd mobile phone here and there, but mainly this is going to be about tech in general, but mostly camera tech. So there's been so much going on in the camera world at the moment. I mean, the full frame mirrorless cameras, they're here, they're affordable. They seem to be on the cusp of replacing even APS-C. I can't see many manufacturers dropping APS-C cameras at the moment, apart from of course Panasonic. Which brings me to the title and to the point of this video, is how can Micro Four Thirds survive when we are seeing full frame mirrorless cameras dropping for less than $1,000? And the size argument is irrelevant now, because look at the Sony 7C. And Samyang have lenses now that are so small, they actually look around about the same size as Micro Four Thirds lenses. You've got the Sigma FP, which is the smallest full frame camera that you can get. This thing is tiny. Recently, Sigma sent two FPs 100,000 feet up into the atmosphere to take video and take pictures of our beautiful planet. They equipped both cameras with Sigma's 14mm f1.8 ultra wide angle rectal linear lens.
I'm telling all the kids, Earth is flat.
My name is Nathan Thompson. I'm a really stupid guy.
If you're a crazy flat earther like that guy, then you need to watch this video, as this lens does not give a fisheye effect and shows the curvature of the Earth. This is about as wide as you can get on full frame without going fisheye, and it is the perfect choice for this if you ask me. The camera that was shooting video was recording 4K RAW, so that eliminated any chance of banding occurring from the graduation in the sky. That thing in the middle is just some ice crystals that built up on the lens, but Sigma say that these are the highest quality video images ever taken of our planet at this height. Such a shame those ice crystals kind of spoiled it. But either way, truly amazing shots. If you want to see the whole video, I'll leave a link down in the description below. Moving on from that, we've had the demise of Olympus, which is just horrible. So Olympus have been taken over by a company called JIP or JIP. I'm not sure what they're called exactly. Either way, the latest is that the company have said that they will be continuing in the high-end camera market, using the Olympus name at first, but apparently the brand name was not included in the sale of the company. So at some point, expect Olympus as we know it to change its name. There are rumors that we're going to still see the Pro line of lenses from Olympus. This does seem to back that up. Let's hope that they do continue this line and hopefully further evolve the Micro Four Thirds system. But will Micro Four Thirds survive? I mean, we've lost Olympus. Panasonic have launched the S5, which is actually smaller than the GH5. It seems like Panasonic are trying to convince their users to upgrade to full frame, and it just does seem like that throughout the industry actually. They want us to move to full frame cameras, that the technology is affordable now and you get better results. If Panasonic are trying to push their customers towards the S5, what about the GH line? We've been waiting for a GH6 for years now. The GH5, which is what I'm filming this on now, is, for vloggers at least, it's one of the best quality video cameras you can buy, in my opinion. For years now, the GH5 has been kind of the go-to camera for people who are, well, for YouTubers, content creators, people who want high quality with minimum fuss. That's the beauty about the GH5. People don't tend to realize, especially Sony users,
related just to JPEG or RAW shooting, so we'll start looking through these anyway. Now the file format that I choose to shoot is RAW plus JPEG.
They don't realize how user-friendly the Panasonic cameras are. That even translates over to the S series as well. Panasonic cameras are just so user-friendly. They're enjoyable to use. When you compare it to something like the A7 series with its hundreds and hundreds of menu items and just fiddly little buttons, although it's an amazing camera when you look through the viewfinder when you've got one of the G Master lenses on, it's a beauty, it's a lovely experience to shoot with, but it's a pain in the ass to use. Panasonic are rumored to be releasing a new cinema camera going by the name of BGH1. this cinema camera will be using a micro four thirds lens mount. So with the BGH1, the specs were leaked on Twitter. So if we go and have a look at those specs, we've got a micro four thirds mount, effective megapixels of 10.28, which is a very similar effective megapixel count as the GH5S, 13 stops of dynamic range with V-Log L, VeriCam look, V-Log L and Cinelike D2 V2. We've got dual native ISO, which is another feature that we find on the GH5S. Internal recording is Cinema 4K 60p with 420 10-bit recording, and externally you will get Cinema 4K 60p 422 10-bit RAW via a HDMI cable. The GH line potentially has kept micro four thirds more relevant than it otherwise would be for the last few years, and the reason for that is that it's always been able to shoot uncropped 4K 60 frame per second video. No other full frame camera has been able to do that until very recently, and even Canon's offerings with the R5 and the R6 can't shoot 4K continuously. The GH5 can, and it's been doing it for years. So if you ask me, the GH line has kept micro four thirds more relevant. So with the demise of Olympus, and with Panasonic seemingly starting to abandon the GH line and go for the BGH line, well, it kind of seems like the GH6 is not going to be the camera to go for because it's going to be handicapped. I mean, if they're capable of doing 4K 60 frames per second with the Panasonic full frame sensor, then what are they capable of doing with a sensor half the size? You could say double that performance, but I'm sure it wouldn't be that much of a performance leap. But how long has the GH6 had advantages over all the full frame cameras when it comes to video? Excuse me, the GH5. It's been at least 3 years since the GH5 was introduced. And remember, even the GH4 shot 4K, although it was with a crop. But you see my point. So it seems like Panasonic are going to aim the GH6 at vloggers. Now, I'm not sure what that means at the moment. I'm very happy with the way that they had the GH4 and the GH5. For me, they were the perfect cameras for me, and I still use the GH5 now. But to say that they're not going to continue with the GH line as it is, and they're going to aim it at vloggers, they said they're going to add effects into the camera and I guess make it more of a streamlined workflow for YouTubers and for content creators, Instagrammers, those kinds of people, which I kind of guess makes sense. But then at the same time, it does worry me because, like I said, I'm perfectly happy with the GH5 as it is. Although I do YouTube videos, and I guess you could say that camera would be aimed at me, I also do professional work as well using the same camera. So it'll be interesting to see how well the GH6 can cover that range of workflow. Yeah, it really does seem like, you know, this is make or break for Micro Four Thirds, and it's all in Panasonic's hands. If they make the GH6 not what people are expecting, then I think that could be a mistake. I don't think they're going to continue the legacy of Micro Four Thirds too much by going with a cinema camera. I mean, that's a specialist piece of equipment. Something like the GH5 has kept the system alive. It has, and that's because of its video performance. But it seems like full frame has taken over, and Panasonic are not willing to give Micro Four Thirds that video advantage anymore, which means that this could be the end for Micro Four Thirds. I'm not too hopeful. I mean, I'm going to see what the GH6 is like. If I don't like it, I'm going to upgrade probably to an S5, but that's just because I love the usability of Panasonic cameras. But you know, we'll just have to wait and see. If you are a Micro Four Thirds shooter, I'd love to know what you think about all this down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And that's it for me for today. If you enjoyed this video, then I would love if you went and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and that notification bell. More videos like this and more reviews of cameras, phones, whatever I can get my hands on will be on the way. So if you enjoyed this one, make sure you hit that notification bell so you get more. And that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. No, I'm not blowing you a kiss.